Heaven I too. Um, full of thanks to everyone who's tuned into this channel. And in this video, this can I guess be a continuation of the video I did on sisterhood recently. And in this video, I want to touch on. This is something I think that not a lot of people or females even like to speak about, but I want to bring it up, bring it to the front, and speak about it. This video might get even more hate or opposition from just like other videos I've gotten, that I've done or shared. This video may even require or cause me to lose subscribers. Though I want to touch on this idea. So something that I've noticed, as I stated previously in another video, is that as females, sometimes or most times, majority of the time, we have a very hard time accepting truth or just accepting certain things, whether they come from male or female. And I think that this idea of sisterhood or being best friends and just having close female acquaintances, it gets jaded and there's like a blind, it's a smoke screen. When this smoke screen is falsehood. What do I mean by that? I mean, how can I say it just straight up? Like, most times we want to be sisters and be best friends, but that's like rooted in our best friends or our sisters appeasing to our toxic ways. I feel like, what I've observed and what I've witnessed and even experienced within myself, is most times us females, we have a very hard time accepting change, which is kind of ironic, because in these different new age movements or different people on the internet, we hear these different people, we speak of the feminine energy being quote unquote chaotic, or it being just movable, changeable. It doesn't stay stagnant. It's not fixed. It's always moving and maneuvering and navigating. Though when I really look and observe the state of females today, we are and have been some of the most fixed beings on this planet, on the earth at this time. And it gets tricky because we think that because we can change our hair, we can change our clothes, we can change our style, we can change our shoes, we can change our hair, we can change the makeup, we can just change our appearance, we can jump from relationship to relationship, we can get this person, that person, do this, do that, change this job, do all these different things, change where we live and all of this stuff. That means that our life and our existence is always changing and constantly like growing. When that is not the full 100. That's not the full 100. That's not fully true. Because when you take away the clothes, take away the makeup, you take away the different hairstyles and different things, and you just left bare, you'll really see like your behavior ain't changing. Like, the state of your heart and your mind is stagnant. It's just a bunch of stagnant energy that's being covered with this illusion of change, but ain't nothing really changing. And what does this have to do with sisterhood and falsehood and all of this? Because I just wonder, like, why when we get in these relationships with other females, we just want them to appease to this sense of stagnancy. We want them to be stagnant too. And if they are trying to, like, we don't want them to challenge us. We don't want nobody to challenge our thinking or how we move. As soon as those things get challenged, we're automatically like, no, you ain't my sister. Like, you a hater, you this and that, or you just can't respect me or love me for where I am, for who I am. That's the problem. And I guess that's the question. Like, who are you? Who are we? Who am I? When we are getting into sisterhood and these things, it gets very tricky. it gets very tricky, like, and it really does make one question, like, where did we go? We say things like, you don't accept me for who I am or for where I am. If we're sisters, we should be able to agree to disagree and it still be our love. Um, I completely, like, disagree with that. I do not resonate with that, and I do not uphold that to be true in any kind of way. Because if you was really sisters, if you really my sister, if I'm really your sister, and we really see eye to eye, heart to heart, if we really in oneness like that, it wouldn't be no disagreement. We would just see things the same way. And I know we hate that idea of sameness in these times, but this idea of individuality and I am me and you are you, all of that is fake. It's very fake. And I know people would hear that and be like, oh, cult, when they hear of different groups, or like this idea of sameness and tribalism and all of these things. Like, so does that mean that these village women who see life the same exact way, they do not argue, they are not agreeing to disagree, they're not loving me or loving each other for who they are because they're different and she's different and this person is different and they have this interest and that interest and this and that, or they behave this way and this one behaves that way. Like, I go to the club and my best friend is a stay-at-home wife. Like, it don't add up. Are these different tribes, the Khoisan people, is that a cult? Because they have a level of sameness, of oneness there. Everybody is just on the same page. They don't even have a leader there. It's very interesting, and I hope that what I'm saying is registering and is making sense. Like, this idea of sisterhood is very, that's why I always like to say it's not to be romanticized, because I feel like we expect our female mirrors to literally mirror toxic ways, and when we reach, or we would even say things like, I want to grow and I want to become better and this and that, but when we really get these people in our life that's really going to challenge us in that way, challenge not in the sense of being in a competition, though challenging us and how we behave and how we act and how we think, those ways that are no longer serving us, when they come into our sphere, when they come into our field, we begin to like we push them out. We don't accept it. We don't see it for what it is. That's a very dangerous thing. And we think that these mirrors were, like, what do we think? That's the thing. Like, what are we thinking? What are we really thinking? I think this video is pretty much just me venting at this point. Though I still hope that it's coming through very clear to the eye that can sight. How are we sisters, but we see things in two different lanes? We seeing things completely different. How are we gonna raise children together and we doing things like that? If everybody is talking about this idea of returning to nature and going to the village and this and that, you think these women in this village see things differently? You think that they're raising children together? This one, she go to the bar. This one, she going to church. This one, she going to wherever, who knows where she going, but they all raising children together. And they got different views on things, and now these children confused. You think that's really going on in these tribes, in these villages where people are far, far away from society? Like, that's not happening. And it makes me really question, like, our state as women. So it's very important that we just get out of this idea of individuality, for one. We get out of this idea of, if you really my sister, you gonna love me for who I am, let me do what I'm doing. No, if I'm your sister, I'm gonna let you know. Like, especially if I'm someone, or if you're someone that has been through what I've been through what you've been through. We put each other up on game. Why is that so hard for us to get to that point where that's okay, and that's not seen as like somebody putting us down, or that's not seen as somebody like belittling us or condemning us? just take it for what it is. You really want to grow, right? And another thing that I notice in females is that we think, or we actually like, I don't feel like no man, no religion, no system on earth has suppressed us more than we have suppressed our own selves. We've suppressed ourselves for so long that we've really reached a point where we think that just because we're able to speak on something, that makes us strong. We're able to curse people out, tell them how we feel and this and that. That really make us strong. Really, to me, that makes us seem hyper reactive. We easily moved and easily bothered by what other people is doing. They're not even by what other people is doing. We just overstimulated. We don't know how to just chill and be relaxed and be peaceful. Really and truly, our peace or our strength, to me, it doesn't come from us being so loud and boisterous and obnoxious with how we feel about things. You're going to feel a way about a lot of stuff. Do you got to speak on it all the time? Some people might say, oh, this is coming from like a religious, whatever. You could say that. I'm not arguing. Though in where I sit, our peace and our strength really comes from us being at ease. Really and truly, our silence, our wisdom is in our ability to be silent, to be quiet sometimes. Not saying to shut up and not be able to speak and express yourself in these different things, though not everything has to be said, not everything got to be spoken on, not everything even, nothing really even exists, nothing even holds that much weight. A lot of times we're speaking on things and we're saying things that don't even add up, it don't even make sense. We just saying things just to say it, and at that point, what's the point? You get me? So that even goes into everything else that I've said in this video, like, and also, like I said, it's a continuation of the sisterhood video and the emotional intelligence. We really have been lacking, quote unquote, this expression as females. And we have a very hard time holding ourselves accountable. So, of course, when other people come into our life, we're not going to be able to hold them accountable. They're not holding us accountable. Or if they do try that, we like trying to argue and do all this and that. It's just very, like, it's very interesting to observe, to experience, to witness within my own self in certain moments. Like, very interesting to witness. So, again, this video probably turned into me venting, but I really do hope that what is shared is received with an open heart and you can really sight. Most of these videos is really just for the eye that can sight. Not every eye is going to be able to see and hear and feel. Not every heart is going to see what's being shared in these videos. Though, one of my favorite verses, scorners seek wisdom and find it not, but knowledge is easy unto he who understands. If you could really see, then you won't try to question, or if you do question, it's for it to seek more understanding, for you to really grasp what's being shared and not feeling offended or feeling like you gotta say, no, but this is this and this is that. Like, no. No. So, again, I hope this video reaches who is meant to reach. I hope that it touches the heart that is meant to touch. Yeah, so until next time, the next video, the next broadcast, and whatever else comes to me that I share. Until then, Maisha Zaidi, Ahava.